Thank you for joining us. This is News Now, coming to you live from our studios. I am Frank Komalape. And now the federal government is making preparations to evacuate about 5,500 stranded Nigerians out of Sudan through the Egyptian town of Luxor. The Director of Special Duties of the National Emergency Management Agency will double as chairman of NEMA's committee for the evacuation of the stranded Nigerians from Sudan. Dr. Onimode Bandele said the federal government was meeting with government officials in Egypt on how to move Nigerians out of Sudan through Egypt. Bandele said these as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyeama, in an interview on Sunday said the government had concluded arrangement to evacuate 5,500 Nigerians in Sudan by road. According to him, Nigeria, for security reasons, will get authorization from the Sudanese government before the evacuation. A conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the paramilitary group Rapid Support Force has claimed over 400 lives, with thousands of others injured and millions displaced. Meanwhile, some civil servants in the Federal Capital Territory have commended the federal government over the payment of the 40% peculiar allowance. The payment was included in the workers' April salary. Chris Ngige, Minister of Labour and Employment, had said the federal government approved a pay rise for civil servants in the country, adding that the pay rise was included in the 2023 budget and will take effect from January 1, 2023. The minister described the salary increase as a peculiar allowance for civil servants in view of the current economic realities, as it is meant to cushion the effects of the rise in inflation and cost of living hikes in transportation fare, housing, and electricity tariffs on government workers. Speaking on Sunday, some civil servants confirmed receiving the payment and lauded the federal government for the gesture. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde on Friday stated that his administration has laid a very solid foundation for governments that will come after him, adding that his successors will ride on the initiatives of his administration to achieve better things for the state. The governor, while receiving the State Executive Council members and other Muslim members of his administration led by Deputy Governor Barrister Abdul Rahim Bayolawo, congratulated Muslims for the completion of Ramadan fast. The governor said all the achievements attained by his government were the collective efforts of the cabinet, and maintained that the people that will come after him will do more and surpass his achievements because he has been laying a solid foundation for the future. He said that there are lots of talent among the Christian and Muslim faithful whom he said will take the state to greater height, and expressed the hope that the state will produce more of Makide's and Adebayo's in the nearest future.
Let me use this opportunity to greet our people, Barika de Salah. And I want to say that we should be thankful to God, no matter how difficult we felt the situation has been. But that God has kept us through the 30 days of fasting. This is to discipline the flesh. You know, God has seen us through. So I want to let our people know that there's a room to be thankful to God.
The month of Ramadan, we have completed the fasting 29 days on. Today marks Eid al-Fitr. We thank God that we started in peace, we ended in peace, and we have come here to give glory to God Almighty Allah. Now the simple message to our good people in Oyo State is to keep imbibing the spirit of Ramadan, that is love, perseverance, peace, and justice.
Now, the Deputy Governor, Barrister Abdul Rahman Adebayo, has said that the purpose of the visit was to pay homage to the governor after leaving the mosque for radio prayers, displaying that Governor Makinde has raised the bar of governance in the state. And in the meantime, Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State has approved the reinstatement of the suspended Emir of Iyandoto, Alhaji Aliyu Maraka. This was contained in a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Kabiru Balarabe, on Sunday in Gusau, which said the reinstatement was with immediate effect. The statement said the reinstatement is based on the recommendations of the committee constituted to investigate all issues pertaining to the conferment of a traditional title to a repentant bandit, Ado Aliru. It added that the committee found no evidence of any ill motive or collaboration between the emir and the bandit. Balarabe said that based on the findings of the committee, the traditional title was conferred on the repentant bandit as part of peace-building efforts between the repentant bandit and banditry affected communities in the Safi and Gusau local government areas, which include Iyandoto town. The Commissioner for Information and Voter Education of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Festus Okoye, has said the Commission lacks the power to declare wanted its resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa, Hudu Ari. Mr. Ari had got into trouble for usurping the powers of the collection officer for Adamawa State to announce the result of the supplementary governorship poll and erroneously declaring the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Aishatu Dahiru, also known as Binani, as the winner of the poll. INEC had since written the Inspector General of Police to investigate and prosecute the wreck, while President Muhammadu Buhari ordered that Ari be suspended, probed and possibly prosecuted. INEC, however, said the whereabouts of the resident electoral commissioner was unknown as he had refused to take phone calls. The commission spokesperson Okoye, who spoke on Sunday, added that there were enough leads that will help the police to arrest the commissioner. Special Assistant on Public Communication to Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Frank Shaibu, has called on the National Assembly to publish the report of its investigation on the 52 billion naira special works program implemented by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo. Shaibu said this in a statement while reacting to report that Keyamo had allegedly acquired a house in United States at the cost of over $300,000. He recalled that in 2021, the federal government had, in a bid to ameliorate effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, approved 52 billion naira for hiring 774,000 Nigerians across all local governments or councils in the country for 3 months. Shaibu alleged that Keyamo orchestrated the sacking of the Director General of the National Directorate of Employment, Nasiru Arungungu, insisting he was in charge of the project, which the National Assembly said was a flop. Daring Keyamo to publish his asset declaration form as submitted to the Code of Conduct Bureau in 2019. Shaibu said since Keyamo had boasted about being an EFCC prosecutor and an anti-corruption champion, he ought to be bold enough to make his asset declaration forms public to prove his truthfulness. And our Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to set up a presidential panel of inquiry to probe allegations that over 149 million barrels of crude oil are missing. Serap was referring to the documented 2019 reports by the Auditor General of the Federation and Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. The group also urged him to ensure prosecution of anyone suspected to be responsible for plundering the country's oil wealth and make full recovery of any proceeds of crime. According to the 2019 audited report by the Auditor General Andrew Omundili, over 107 million barrels of crude oil were lifted as domestic crude without any document of tracing, while 80 also reported missing 42.25 million barrels of crude oil in 2019. And the letter dated April 22nd and signed by Serap's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare The organization said there is a legitimate public interest in ensuring justice and accountability for these very serious allegations.